Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If I can request Venkatnath Prabhuji to please welcome Maharaj. Prabhu, please go ahead. आवाज आ रही है पीछे? Can everyone hear please? Thank you. तो आज बहुत सारे मैसेजेस आ रहे थे. Everybody understand Hindi? कोई हिंदी समझता है? Okay. Prabhu, you don't understand? Okay, I'll translate for you. There were so many messages today on the WhatsApp. Happy Guru Purnima, Happy Guru Purnima. And I checked, actually as per Vaishnava calendar, Guru Purnima in Sydney is tomorrow. But then, you know, by the arrangement of Providence, हमारे लिए Guru Purnima आज ही हो गई है, because Guru Maharaj is here.
मैं भी इसमें ही बिजी हूँ. WhatsApp मैसेज इतने सारे आ रहे हैं और हर एक को जवाब देना होगा. एक दिन तो दे सकते हैं, दूसरे दिन उड़ा दे.
No, actually, that's a very good, you know, I would say Maharaj is so merciful. I think hardly, Mataji, any message you send to Guru Maharaj, Maharaj always responds. I mean, all the Maharaj's response, I'm not saying, but in my communication with Maharaj and hearing from so many devotees, Maharaj always makes sure he responds, and he responds in a, you know, very timely. And I mean, basically all I'm saying is he's always there. He's always there.
All around, I travel a lot. Anytime they call, even though it is midnight, 2 o'clock, I have to respond.
Yes.
Because others do not know where am I. So it's not their fault.
Yes, yes.
They think I'm in Vrindavan.
And as soon as Maharaj, you know, reaches on the Zoom, we have today with us, you know, His Grace Vimukta Atma Das and Abhay Prada Devi Dasi Mataji from Delhi. And it just occurred to me how during the COVID times, both Prabhuji and Mataji, they were very unwell. I mean, Mataji was so unwell, and Mataji, if you are hearing, please forgive me. But, you know, they were very unwell, and doctors were saying it's very serious condition. And then I spoke to Maharaj, and they had already taken shelter from Srila Maharaj. So I called Maharaj, and Maharaj was in Kerala at the time. And I requested Maharaj that Maharaj, Mataji is very serious. And then will it be possible to, you know,
initiate them, write them in the hospital on the phone.
Yes, Maharaj was going. I called Maharaj. Maharaj was going to the. I think there was some work Maharaj was doing, going outside, and Maharaj said, "Bus में ये अभी काम करके आता हूँ, और आते ही उनको initiation दे देंगे. Can they wait that long?" And Maharaj actually cut short his whatever commitment was there and came back, and they got initiation on the phone through the video conference. And now Mataji and Prabhuji, they are on call with us. Since then, their health improved, and it is the strength of the holy name. And Maharaj was so merciful. And Maharaj and I, when we were talking, Maharaj specifically said, no, we have to make sure that their birth is successful. You know, if something unexpected happens, they would have gotten the Harinam in this lifetime, and then that will protect them for all the future lifetime. So thank you so much, Maharaj. You know, I mean, we have known Maharaj for more than 10 years or so, and whenever Maharaj comes to Sydney, we have the opportunity to get his personal association. Maharaj is once again, you know, always there whenever we need something. And without taking much time, so I will hand over to I will request Srila Maharaj to please, you know, enlighten us. Maharaj, Lalsamai Mataji told me we will be from Chaitanya Charitamrit, but whatever you speak, Maharaj, that will be nectar for us. Thank you so much.
I'm to grill all of you. All right?
Yes.
Yes, this is how Srila Prabhupada taught us. look into the subject matter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita.
महाराज की गुड लाइन है.
I will not touch it. Okay. संभाल के और उठ ना जाए. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी. जय राधा कुंज बिहारी. गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी. जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी. गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी. जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी. यशोदानंदन व्रज रंजन. यमुना तीर वनचारी. यमुना तीर वनचारी. यमुना तीर वनचारी. यमुना तीर
बारिश तो देख
Divine grace of Acharnaarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Discount Deputy Founder Acharya Jagadguru Srila Jai Om Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajakaacharya Stottam Shata Sishimat His Divine Grace of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद के श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन के ब्रजमणि वृंदावन धाम के राधे माधुर धाम के गंगा माई के जमुना माई के भक्ति देवी की तुलसी महारानी की समावेत भक्त वृंद की दाई गौर ब्रह्मानंद Oh, glories to Mr. Monday. Now, where are they going to be? Send them out in the cold. If anybody is disturbing the class, you have to go outside and play or whatever you want to do, but you can't enter in. Okay? So keep quiet. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Dhammayam Dhamari Swarvanamrikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakam Shri Gurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Nishanancha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. We have to say our standard literature upon which our philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva has been delineated comes from lives and precepts of Lord Sri. There are so many things that we have to learn, but Srila Prabhupada made it that if you are familiar with the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Krishna himself, then it is difficult to enter into the subject matter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. One has to be conversant with the subject matter studiously in matter of Bhagavad Gita and then and then one may be called to enter into the establishment of the super boss, super excellent truth to ascertain the life and precept of Sri Chaitanya as the highest methodology to go back home, back to God. It's not that easy to go back home, back to God.
तो भी ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਸੀ ਮਾੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੋਹਿਤ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਆ 100 ਰੁਪਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਲੈ ਗਿਆ 200 ਰੁਪਇਆ ਬੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਚੱਕਰ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਫਰੋਡ ਹੀ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਆ ਪੁੱਛੀ ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇਖੀਏ ਫਿਰ
pertinent inquiry in a surrendering mood and ask pertinent questions regarding the absolute truth you have come to know. And he will reveal because he has seen the truth. But this is the pariprashnena, pranipata, pariprashnena, sevaya. 3 things are important to approach a bona fide spiritual master. Pranipat means surrender. Then you have right to ask the questions of the subject matter for which you have come to realize. And these 2 are so essential that one may, through the help of Guru, he will impart you transcendental knowledge of the absolute truth because he has seen the truth. You cannot obtain that. So one must be in parampara to connect with himself with the authorities who brought down with Shastric authority. Praman. And then we can remain confident to know the confidentiality of appearance and activities of Sri Chaitanya. There are so many conditions. So it's not an easy subject matter to deal with, to enter into Chaitanya Charitamrita. But Prabhupada was so kind. And in the beginning pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the introduction, he described the life and precepts of teachers, his activity. why did he do so? Even though on one behalf, to study Chaitanya Charitamrita is one thing, to know some primary prerequisite of the parampara and the glorification of the Chaitanya. At least introductions should be. So those who are students of Bhagavatam, they go through the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam is to obtain Lord Shri Krishna. The ultimate aim is to obtain Lord Shri Krishna. Right? But there are so many instructions given. But as a synopsis, we can say, but in detail will be given. Chaitanya Charitamrita is very exhaustive literature. It is consisting of about altogether almost nearing to 12,000 pages. In Corona, we started, we just finished Sikshastra. It took about 8 days of the seminar for 8 slokas to be done. This is the only literature Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left for instruction. And on the strength of Sikshastra, he advised Rupa Goswami to compile the Shastra for spiritual science, Bhakti Shastra. Right? Then, after Sikshastra, I entered into the class of Brihad Bhagavatam of Sanatana Goswami. Where Bhagavatam stops, Brihad Bhagavatam starts. Then, supplement to that, ascertaining the fundamental differences in South India, the Ramanuja Sampradaya, the first Vaishnava Sampradaya, but at the same time, it won't satisfy Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even though he stayed for 4 months of Chaturmasya in Sri Rangam. Many devotees of Ranganath, they joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The famous is Gopal Bhatta Goswami and his uncle Prabodhananda Saraswati. What made them follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And Lakshman Bhatta, who was their father and brother of Prabodhananda, happily arranged for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all the facilities so he can stay comfortably and worship Lord Jagannath, Subhadra and Balaram. And if you go, they are still there. He got it done in South India. There were no carvings of Jagannath temple. Even the Puri Pandas, when they tell anything about Ramanujacharya saw that the Pandas are coming from aborigine tribes. They do not know the methodology of worship. They do whimsically so much. So Ramanuja thought that let me go and explain them. And he came traveling all the way from Srirangam and he stayed outskirts of the Vaikuntha Jagannath, Sri Kshetra. But in the night, he got a dream of Jagannath. And Jagannath was very angry. How dare you come? You think you want to teach your methodology here? I have accepted their service. You have to leave it up to me. You can't even pass your. And he so angrily kicked him, and he fell into. What a goal he did, and that was the mercy of Jagannath on Ramanujacharya. So everything is there as a historical background, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to travel to South India and trying to establish, is there any who is in pure love of God, the highest relationship of conjugal rasa? Because the Lord himself took an avatar, Radha Krishna. So that internal three reasons.
Me आ गया me.
Right? So Chaitanya Charitamrita has to explain every nitty-gritty details of what was going in the mind of Lord Shri Krishna for the benefit of people in Kali Yuga. So, in introduction, which is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, these pages are exhaustive, about 25 pages. But Prabhupada wrote so many incidents without much explanation as a background, so people can know. But Chaitanya Charitamrita was written in a complete different mood. Chaitanya Bhagavat was there by Vrindavan Das Thakur. He is called the Vyasadeva of Chaitanya Avatar. And in Chaitanya Bhagavat, he describes the Balya Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And even most of the Leelas in Jagannath Puri. But Vrindavan Das Thakur kept certain distance with so much intimate
बाहर कपड़े का नहीं आ गया ऊपर.
realization.
मोटा मोटा है.
It can be only revealed when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
Matt.
before he resettled himself in Jagannath Puri with the company of Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda. Only two persons he chose to associate. Rest will come and have their darshan, but no association. It was such a secret, heart-to-heart rendering. That is very expressive. How come we enter it? It is very difficult. Even to enter into Radha Krishna Leela in Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very serious, and that can be understood only by those whose Radha
फिर से ब्रिस्बेन में એમ થાય છે હું એટલે હવે હું મારા કપડા હપ્તામાં બે ત્રણ વાર દઉં જેમ કે उसको આયન કરું તો આયન કરીને
when they are irradiated from the heart of a devotee, then and then he will be allowed to enter into Radha Krishna Tattva Leela. Not otherwise. So simultaneously we are exposed to a generalized subject matter. At the same time, we are warned not to enter into certain territory where we are not qualified. And especially Chaitanya Charitamrita is exposing what happened after Krishna Swadhamopagate Dharma Gyan Adi Visa. What was the situation in Goloka? because he comes on the earthly planet during 28th cycle of Chatusyuga. There are 1,000 cycles in 12 hours of Brahma. And in each yuga, there are 14 manus. All right. So right now, we are in 28th cycle of Chatusyuga, and this is the last yuga of Kali Yuga in that cycle. Then the cycle will repeat on 29th, and but Krishna comes only once during 1,000 cycles of Chatusyuga and Dwaparante. Right? Actually, the Dwapara Yuga is second yuga after Satya Yuga. But Krishna did other way around. He sent Treta Yuga first. Go. You know. He has his master plan. So, and that was also in 7th Manu region that Krishna appeared. And when he appears, he makes his own arrangement. He's not forced to come, but he comes on his sweet will, with everything in favor, subservient, and the show. How not only majestic position of Lord Shri Krishna is, but at the same time, what he is going to bestow is long cherished desire of Vasudeva and Devaki, who were Sutapa and Vrishni in the first millennium, and their desire was not fulfilled, even though the Lord appeared as their son, as Hiranyagarbha in Satya Yuga, and he was adult and had a business, just disappeared. उन लोगों की मन में रह गए कि हमें तो बच्चा चाहिए और हमें भगवान के बाल्य लीला के दर्शन, भक्तों के संतोष के लिए ही तो भगवान आते हैं, right? So what happened in the second yuga? They came much more austere situation, and they became Aditi and Kashyap, and they happened to see, I'm in the middle here and the mic is there. What can I do? But they won't be able to see my face. That's right. Okay, like this. Good. But he's not supposed to touch. Okay. So, in the second millennium, they appeared as Kashyap and Aditi. And Lord Vaman came, and he was also 7-year-old. And so Balya Lila, he is already in Paugand. How come Balya Lila will be able to be enjoyed by them? And he came and immediately ordered Kashyap, take me to Bali Maharaj, sacrifice. I have come for a business, you know. And what did he do? You know it. Yeah, we talked yesterday, right? You spoke about it. I told you to speak and you did. How Bali Maharaj gave 3 paces of land, right? So, again, second time usko man ki man mein reh gayi. They were bent upon. So in the third millennium, they appeared as Devaki and Vasudeva. Right? Prabhupada explains that Krishna appears on his own accord. You cannot force him to. But you have to become at par with his medium of existence. which is called
நான்
Vishuddha.
6 மணிக்கு எழுந்திருக்கேன். 5 hours தான் தூங்கிருக்கேன். எனக்கு chanting கூட பண்ண முடியல. 16 rounds.
நாளைக்கு பண்ணு தூங்கு.
கக்கா போனோம். அப்போ
Most of us are in
வந்து குளிச்சேன். திரும்ப டாய்லெட் இருந்துருக்கு. திரும்ப நான் வாஷ்
Sattvam
பண்ணேன்.
much prevailing because it is again tainted with
என்ன கிளாஸ்?
இந்த class
எங்க?
evening going on.
Pure sattva is never to be found in
You give her a massage.
இல்ல.
already contaminated.
Then she'll sleep very well.
But it is said in
What's my
Shri
bomb now? So into the bomb.
by this constant austerity and constant desire, hankering for the Lord to appear as their child, Krishna appeared as he is in the heart of Vasudeva. That purified state of existence in Vasudeva was achieved, which is called Vishuddha Sattva. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Samhita. Lord Shiva explains this nature of Lord Shri Krishna to Parvati in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Parvati understood what is her position. And when she heard about her nature, which was completely opposite to Srimati Radharani, but she understood how, just like you are Paravartan of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, I am also Radharani. This has been her realization, and in Vaishnava Tantra, it is written, and such revelations are given by Jiva Goswami. In Brahma Samhita, you will read, because the entire spiritual and material creations, and the Tattva, Shambhu Tattva, then Shakti Tattva, everything has been explained. So, when we are properly acquainted with Krishna Tattva, then we can enter into the internal desires of Lord Shri Krishna. There, it's the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It starts from Golok Vrindavan. So Prabhupada gives synopsis, just like to enter in 10th canto is a taboo, right? We cannot understand Lord Krishna's internal potency that works for executing all the leelas. Even though he remains at the center, but he is distributed everywhere. This is only the talk in Vrindavan, which is the highest, but what about outside of Vrindavan? His majesty is there. Opulence is there. Even though he was born of Vasudeva and Devaki, but he cheated them this time also. How? He's such a stingy, supreme person. He's not that much. He checks his devotees very thoroughly. So what happened? Vasudeva and Devaki, they were praying. The internal situation of his meditation, Vasudeva's meditation, came at par with Vishuddha Sattva level. Then and then he appeared in his heart. Okay, Vasudeva, I'm ready to become your son. So Vasudeva acknowledged. Then he initiated Devaki and imparted the same form of Lord Krishna into the heart of Devaki. The Sambandha Gyan, Abhideya Gyan, now only Prayojan Gyan is remaining. Right? So Devaki was highly effulgent when she bore Lord Krishna within her heart through initiation process. Vasudeva initiated Devaki, and the spiritual emancipation or conception is beyond mental conception of Brahma, who can conceive through his mind. Spiritual conception is inviting the Lord to sit in our heart. Unless and until we chant Hare Krishna mantra, we will not be properly purified, and we have to observe the strictness, how to invite Lord Shri Krishna. Even in Rath Yatra, you have to cleanse your heart, Gundicha Marjan first, where you want to drag Lord Jagannath by pulling the rope, like Brijavasis, they wanted to do, and make him sit in your heart. Do you think, Lord जैसे है वैसे मैं आपका ही हूँ, आप मेरे पर कृपा करिए, ये करो वो करो, अरे चीप रिजल्ट कहाँ मानते हो? So when Devaki became effulgent, the devatas, the demigods, are the living entities of higher category. Their thinking is on the bodily conception of life. Oh, Devaki is so effulgent. Lord Krishna must have taken place in her womb. अरे बाबा हार्ट की बात है, ये लोग वुम्ब की बात करने लगे. आपने कहीं सुना होगा, दूसरों को बात करते हैं तो थोड़ा टेढ़ा मेढ़ा करके ही करते हैं. देवता, it is coming from देवता. तो देवता आ गए कि चलो देव की माँ को प्रार्थना करे, और कृष्ण भगवान उसके पेट में हैं तो इनकी संभाल करें, प्रार्थना करें, आशीर्वाद दे दें. So that's how they came and glorified Devaki. And when the time came, time also Krishna himself personified. So he arranged all the auspicious stars and the nebulas and everything to come in alignment so he can come without any disturbance. No interference of any super the Shaktis of Maya. Krishna made her sleep. Right? And that made the Dwarpal sleep. And everything was clean, clear. So when Krishna appeared, he assumed the 400 form standing. And Vasudeva and Devaki said, Bhagavan, we know you, but we didn't ask you to come. ये तो आप हथियार लेकर आ गए, यही लड़ाई झगड़ा करोगे तो कैसे आगे काम होगा? We want you to exhibit your childhood pastime. सब कहेंगे, अरे ये जेल कोई childhood pastime करने के लिए बना? You have to send me off. Are you ready? Those who are longing for observing childhood pastimes, now the real time to come to sacrifice that also, even in the third episode. So, yes, my dear Lord, for your pleasure we will do anything. See, this is the readiness of Devaki and Vasudeva. Did they ever witness childhood pastimes? But Brihad Bhagavatamritam says something. Krishna is all powerful, he can make arrangement. So Sanatana Goswami takes liberty to further. He creates new Vrindavan. Tell, hey Balbhadra, Bhaiya, aa jao. नया वृंदावन बसा दो दरिया किनारे, हम तो द्वारका में है, फिर भी you can create, and they did it. And dioramas रख दिया, but dioramas were exactly like live. और भगवान देवकी की इच्छा के संतोष के लिए ये चाइल्डहुड पास टाइम नया वृंदावन बसाकर, so only through the proper transcendental revelations of our predecessor acharyas will be knowing, will be able to enter into the esoteric truth of the furtherance. So Brahad Bhagavatamritam will be there, and Laghu Bhagavatamritam was compiled by Rupa Goswami. You know, but it is so much wonderful, where the argumentation in the court between the nature of worship that Ramanuja Sampradaya established in Vaishnavism, centering around Lord Narayan, right? We refute, putting Krishna as the original form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's just like two lawyers are confronting, you know, putting the proofs and other Shastric evidences. Rupa Goswami wonderfully puts up all the Shastric evidences to prove that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not Narayan. The original form is two-handed, not four-handed or multi-form. Vishwarup is not the original form. It's a temporary. And we understand that original form is only known by his primary name and activity only in Vrindavan and not outside of Vrindavan, not even in Mathura. What to speak of Dwarka or Jagannath? So the culmination of the entire scenario about how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead has to be tactfully handled in Chaitanya Charitamrita. What literally means the character of consciousness in eternity. Chaitanya Charitra. Chaitanya means consciousness. Charitra means character. Amritam, in the deathless situation. Consciousness never dies. Because its origin is Paramatma to the Atma. Paramatma supplies the consciousness. And consciousness we feel through the five senses. There is no consciousness other way around to feel. When five senses are giving information to the brain and they decipher, we recognize, but actual consciousness is coming as a spiritual energy of communication. Through that communication, you know who are you. Why we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra? What is the necessity? To purify our consciousness, to purify our senses. And we engage the senses in service of the master of the senses is the bhakti. The equation is very simple. But they have to be grilled through the agency of the revealed scriptures by our acharyas. So it becomes authentic. And we have to learn or teach in the same way. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada graded Srimad Bhagavad Gita is the primary literature that we must study. then we can advance in graduate study like Srimad Bhagavatam and postgraduate study as Chaitanya Charitamrita. You don't dare to study Chaitanya Charitamrita without proper understanding in Bhagavad Gita. We must respect at least that warning. But Prabhupada already gave the incidental history of Chaitanya Charitamrita in the introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam. So, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will come to know mind-boggling situations. Bhadrupa Goswami, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, then the purports through Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Jiva Goswami, they have studied well. So Prabhupada is putting in the purport completely digested material, so we don't have to work hard. But we should be ready to assimilate the truth by verification. Truth must be verifiable. So, the study of Chaitanya Charitamrita is postgraduate. It is not a superfluous reading. Even Srila Prabhupada gave purports only in important verses. Most of is the reading matter and mere translation. But wherever it was necessary, Prabhupada can grill anybody by resources of our predecessor acharyas, and that's the way it has to be studied. So, and it should be a continual effort. You can't study Chaitanya Charitamrita in the armchair. All right? So, both, there is no discouragement, the time will come. But let's go through the gradual development of our purified consciousness. And then we enter into subject matter under the guidance of senior devotees. Full rush into the subject where angels fear to tread in. Yeah. Have you studied Brahma Samhita? Isn't it tough? Prabhupada did not translate to make it simplified. Because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj put up a thorough understanding. Rather, Prabhupada would repeat the same words, that the materialistic demon cannot possibly, transcend the Supreme Absolute. What is materialistic demon? Demeanor means it is expression of one's opinionated version. Is hovering in his mind, but materialistic way cannot be possibly stretched to fathom the transcendental autocrat. How much can you stretch your material intelligence to understand Lord Shri Krishna, who is a transcendental autocrat? People say, what is this autocrat? They can understand autocrack, but not autocrat. So, Prabhupada enjoys speaking his Guru's words. Simply repeat. And while repeating these words, you may get insights because the words are not forming out of a linguistic adventure. No. They emerge from realization. They say Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj English was so profoundly high that even Britishers were shaking up. Yes. When he was appointed teacher for the son of the king of Tripura, and he had many English friends during the early English settlement of what they call in Calcutta, what they did. No, they came to establish their business.
East India business.
Huh?
East India business.
Yeah, East India Company. So many were interested to bribe the royalties and others. They were happy to enjoy the culture of India by proper reception and adoration. Fine, but they will take disadvantage to, wipe them out. So like that, education should not be superficial. The education is to bring about what we have already forgotten, that is self-realization. Any education that makes us self-realize is a proper education. If you become an engineer, a mechanical engineer, or electrical engineer, or scientist, what realization are you going to get? Simply waste of time. No material subject matter is capable to make you realize of the eternity or the esoteric truth about our nature. So it's a waste of time. You may work hard to get good marks, but Bhagavatam says, that what I work hard, but it ends up shrama eva hi kevalam. Even by making your varnashram dharma perfect, applied, but it fails to attract the attention of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's shrama eva hi kevalam. So, the purpose of study, the details, is to put you on the higher ranks of realization. We should not cut short and try to reach. Let's grow gradually. There's a lot of valuable situation that we have to learn through the purpose of Srila Prabhupada in Chaitanya Chaitanya. Not that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dealings will be automatically understood. Without the help of Srila Prabhupada and predecessor Acharyas, that Prabhupada includes them in his purpose. We understand through them, and it will be easy for realization. Prabhupada painstakingly did so much service to humanity. But human should not have that kind of access directly. There should be a respectful approach. And that is the request. It's not that we do not know the incidents in the early life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They have been recorded and they have been also written. The teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are also been described in compilation, TLC, teachings of Lord Chaitanya. But when you see the same understanding through the eyes of realized souls who wrote upon the request of his senior Goswamis, he becomes so much humble that at every end and the beginning, he prays for the mercy of the producer acharyas. Rupa Raghunatha Pade, Yei Mora Asa, Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe, Krishna Das. So, along with the education, it should be embedded in our character. It's not simply a cranial, treatise that comes out. No way. मेरी खोपड़ी में 36 अंश का ब्रेन होगा, तेरी खोपड़ी में 32 अंश का। इससे क्या होगा? Now, the consciousness is beyond expression of limited reflective mechanism of voluntary nervous system. We depend upon sympathetic nervous system. Beg mercy of Krishna and live. You know these two systems, nervous system, voluntary or central nervous system, and second one is sympathetic nervous system. Why the science is calling it sympathetic nervous system? Whose sympathy it is begging? Sympathetic. How the hell they use the same word that is so much meaningful for us, not for them? It says when the body is hurt in the accident, sympathetic system takes over and guards all important organs and advises to store the blood before you lose it. Who advises clotting mechanism? Who advises immunity? Did you get shots for corona? Increase your immunity? Who is advising? Many people have not taken. Because it affects the internal, mechanisms for defense. Defense system. Our body is self-reliant on defense system. Just like animal body is more reliant on their own defense system. But if we depend upon artificial means of defense, then all our internal defense system will become weak. Because we started depending on outer goli maro. Defense के लिए भी गोली चला. The best defense is coming from 108 rounds of goli. Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
So this science has been developed and it has to be received through parampara because it will be bona fide. And secondly, according to our growth in spiritual life. So anybody has any question or comment?
Hare Krishna. The scriptures it says Lord Krishna is in the personal form. So to have a personal form, there should be a universe to place in, isn't it? So which is first, Krishna or universe?
What is universe has to do with Krishna's form?
So which one came first?
Huh? Before the material universe were created, there was always the internal manifestation of 3 times more bigger is the spiritual atmosphere of universes.
Yeah, that's what my question is.
So I'm telling you, and Krishna says that these are 2 kinds of energies. Internal potency and external potency. External potency of Krishna was responsible to create external universes, the material universes. And they are sustained for some time and they will be dissolved from time to time. But parastasmatu bhavo anyo vyakta vyakta sanatana. There is another nature of mind, that is internal nature, internal potency. That is adhyatmic nature. That means the character of the soul, which is superior energy than material energy. Right? So Krishna is in his transcendental form called Satchidananda Vigraha, composed of internal potency and internal nature. And he is always existing in completeness. He never deteriorates. But when he has been forced to create this temporary jail of material nature, custodian is Durga Devi. Durga means killa. So she is the material nature or Shakti working under the desire of Lord Shri Krishna. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyati sacharacharam hetunanena kaunte jagadvi parivartate. And Krishna made this Bhautik Jagat, the material energy, parivartanshil, always keep on changing. But the changes occur according to the order of Krishna. So under his jurisdiction, Adhyakshata, the material energy works. So Krishna, when he descends, he does not have to accept material form. He is not forced to. Sambhavami Atma Maya. I appear on my own internal potency. That internal potency is also called spiritual potency. If it is not existing in the material potency, how are we going to become spiritual? But there is opportunity. Brahma Jyoti is pervaded everywhere. All pervasive nature is there. But we may not be able to understand. Even though it is a brilliant effulgence, more than millions of suns together, that's how it is described. But yet, the soul in the purified state can come in communication with that internal potential. Even if you measure the sound waves, the physical nature of the sound waves, certain wavelength, then it becomes minute and it becomes sonar and radar, and then radio waves are there, and your mobile phone is working on that, okay? And your any other instrument like microwave is also working on radio waves, but they are very fine. But if you go to the negative side of this microwave, then there is -1, -2, -3. This range is beyond the perception of any material device. So it is other side or opposite side of the gradation. So transcendental sound vibration that is emanated from chanting Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama. They are beyond the perception of human device. But nonetheless, it works. We have to see the effect. It's simple science. One which gives you permanent result, and other is giving you temporary result because it's also changing. Even in this material form of the body, there's a spirit soul which is triggering all the consciousness. He receives, he does not bring his consciousness because we were separated, just like a spark is separated from the fire. Association of fire, it extinguishes. But this Krishna conscious movement is to pick up that extinguished fire back into the fire. The spark has to be put back. So it's called rekindling. Our nature is not lost, but it has been polluted by the association of matter. And we think we are temporary people. This world is temporary, but then besides this temporary manifested world, there is unmanifested world which is forever. Yadgatvana nivartante tathamam paramam. Krishna does not belong here. The jail he may create and he may visit, but he doesn't become a jailer. So it's wrong to assume that when he comes in the body, he is like one of us. Avajananti mama mudha manushim tanu masritam param bhavam ajananta mama bhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I come in human-like form. He doesn't say I'm coming as a human. Yes, Ramchandra was a human avatar. But Krishna is not a human avatar. Krishna is coming as he is, because that is the desire that brought him down. Whose desire? Pure devotees, who are so eager to witness the transcendental excellences in the pastimes, which are never seen. But this devotees hear and they desire to witness them. Krishna is not coming for the first time. Our Brahma has already gone in the several hundreds of cycles of repeated birth and death. Brahma. How many times Brahma died? Millions and millions of times. This creation is a perpetual, but material creation is not perpetual. It it is created for some time, stays for some time, and dissolves from some time. Even Brahma experiences. But parastasmatu bhavo anyo vyakta vyakta sanatana. Our dharma is sanatan because it is advising us to get out from the realm of ignorance and come to the light of truth. Om asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityu ma amritam gamaya. So tamas, asat, and mrityu, they are the same thing at different level. Sat means eternality. To come in the light of reality, in the knowledge of reality, of our reality. This life is temporary to temporality. It cannot be reality. It may glimpse that you are not here for harassment. The jiva came due to his karma, wrongly advised, into a jail. So he has to suffer. Jailer is Durga Devi. And the suffering is coming through Trishul. Adhyatmika Adi Bhautika Nati Devi. And this is temporary. But yet, our association with the matter and ignorance is so much that we want to make a permanent stay here. No? That is not fair. Our Vedas, our literature of Bhakti Shastra gives us definite, plan how to come out. It's not a whimsical or speculative understanding. This is called observational truth. The truth which is observed right before your eyes. Pratyaksha avagamam. What is pratyaksha? Aksha means eye. Perceived by our eyes even. Dharmyam susukham kartum avyayam. The science of Krishna consciousness is very pleasing to perform, and whatever the performance, it will happen right before your eyes. So there is no make-believing things. And the result of our performance is inexhaustible. Avyaya. Anything else? Simply waste of time. Vyayam. So our Shastras are advising Srimati. Dharma sonutishtasya punsam visvakshena kathasuya notpadaye yadi ratim shrama evahi kevalam. If our activities are not attracting the attention of the Supreme, that will be a useless waste of labor. Shrama. अरे गधा भी श्रम करता है और मनुष्य भी श्रम फर्क क्या पड़ा? It's like that. Yes, Prabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is human avatari? No. To understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one has to understand the avatars of Krishna. Krishna is avatari. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is avatar. No. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu denies even to accept as he is Bhagwan. He will put his hands. I don't want to listen to this. This is not my nature I'm exhibiting. Even though he confidentially exhibited Radha Krishna combined form to Ramananda Rai, Shadbhuj to our Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Nrsimha Bhagwan's form was shown to who? Shivananda. Okay. So the point is that that revelation is so private, never to be disclosed to others. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Bhaktarupam, Bhaktavataram. He assumed the avatar of a Bhakta just to guide us properly, even though he was the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because he does not acknowledge, only those internal associates of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared him. And that is the right way. If our predecessor Acharyas declared him as an avatar, then we have to accept it. That is the authority. And only those revelations done by the associates, intimate associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, will take us home, back home, that Godhead. Chaitanya Sandhi Sanghe Nitya Siddha Karimane Je Jaye Vrajendra Sutta Pass. And Vrajendra Sutta is only available in Vrindavan. Right? So if you want to go to Vrindavan, you have to worship Vrajendra Sutta. But whose methodology is the highest? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us. What are his teachings? That is on the holy name. But 5 things he gave us. Aradhyastanaya Vrajendra Nandana Tadhamam Vrindavan Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadur Vardecha Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Amala Puranam Sri Chaitanya Matamidam Nanyastatatapara. This is the strict discipline. 5 subject matters we have to muster around.
But in Quran, it was said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be coming as a
Son of Mother Sachi. There are so many descriptions in other Puranas, Adi Puran, and as well as. That's okay. But is he a scheduled incarnation? In Kali Yuga, there are no scheduled incarnations. Those will come in disguise. Who will know? Common people will not know. How many are accepting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead? You are one, me too, but because we study. Go to North India. They say he's a bhakta. They'll put him in the category of devotee. And they do not worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who will worship him? Srimad Bhagavatam also qualifies this. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadai Yagyaihi Sankirtanam Prahi Yajanti Sumedasa. You are born in the land of Bengal. Go to Bhumi. It's a natural inclination you have. Otherwise, I was wondering in millions of births tossing off on the waves of Maya. But by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, I have been pulled over.
actually, what is the definition of Brahma?
Brahman. Definition of Brahman. Brahma janati iti Brahman. Brahman must know who is the Brahman. What is Brahman? Brahman is sum total of both spiritual and material energy. But who is the master of Brahman? This must be Parabrahman. Right? How did Arjuna accept Krishna? Param Brahma, Param Dhamam, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adi, Devam, Ajam, Vibham, Ahustvam, Rishaya, Sarvadevarshi, Naradas, Tatha, Asito, Devalo, Vyaso, Swayam, Chaiva, Bravishime. You can't escape this reasoning. Sarvat Tadrutam. I accept its factual truth. Satyam Param Dhimahi. This is the factual truth. Arjuna accepted on the authority of previous acharyas, on the authority of Krishna himself, who is declaring. He doesn't have any way to argue against it. And those who are atheists, we don't care. They live in the hell, they will go to hell. They love hell, we don't disturb. Right? Let them enjoy the hell.
In my religion, actually, I'm not 50 years old. Now I know, little bit know what is the definition of Brahman. But why from 0 to 15, why I don't know the actual definition of Brahman? Why, what is the acts of or Hindu religion's activity? Why I am the illiterate about the definition of the actual that Brahman should have? But why I don't know for 15 years?
Bhagavad Gita declares who is a Brahman.
I have zero knowledge actually because.
But we have to take the knowledge from Krishna's own teachings.
And now my question is, in our religion, the posture is not enough to let the people know what should be our religion is and what the activities we have to follow. But 50 years already passed for myself to considering, I have nothing to know about our religion.
No, that is called progression of Kali Yuga will hinder the real knowledge. And people will be taken for granted. They know Hinduism, but when we ask, what does Hinduism stand for? Our religion is more tolerant. Oh, our religion believes in reincarnation. Oh, our religion have Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh trilogy, the creator, the sustainer, and dissolution. Is this Hinduism? No. It's very rudimentary knowledge at a universal level. There's only one universe. Multitude of universes. If you just ask, even in South India, how many Vishnus are there? And they will not answer. How many types of Vishnus you are worshipping? There is Karanodakshaya Vishnu. Then he expands into Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Then he also expands into Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. And Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is also expanded as Paramatma, and he is found within the atom, without the atom, in everyone's heart. He is all pervasive. And he is standing with 4 hands, Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padma, and on the lotus. Have you ever seen any Vishnu standing? 3 previous Vishnus are shy, means lying down. One in Karnan ocean, another is Garbhodak ocean, and third is in Kshirodak ocean. The 3 levels are there. And Mahavishnu is the origin. But Mahavishnu himself has come from the Narayan form of secondary Chaturvyuha, secondary Chaturvyuha of one Vaikuntha planet. And there are 24 Vaikuntha planets. And they have their own expansions. So how many Vishnus are you talking? And above it, Golok Vrindavan. And there is no confusion. It is said, even Brahma saying that. Goloka tham nijatham nitale chatasya devi mahesha haridhama shute. Ye haridham kahan hai? You know Devi Dham? This Maya, Devi Dham. We are in Devi Dham, right? Then Mahesh Dham is above Virja. This Mahesh Dham is below Vaikuntha, but it is on the spiritual level. But his incarnations as Rudra, they are on material to interact with Maya Devi. So Haridham is Vaikuntha, but Golokadham, it is the planet of cows. What do you think? How many cows would be there in Golokadham? It's called planet of cows. Go means cows. Loka means the planet. It's a planet of cows. In America, there are many planets of cows. They are called big stockyard for slaughter. Millions of cows. Is that Golokdham? And who is tending the cow? Krishna is engaged in Surbhi Ravi Palayantam Lakshmi Sahastra Satasambrama Sevyamana. Millions of Satasambramas Sevyamana. Millions of Lakshmis are serving Lord Shri Krishna. And they are also called Gopas. So, we may know little material planetary system, and that is also confusing. They got tired of finding this God particle. Recently, Rajvidya sent me an article published in New York Times that after 10 years of the research on Higgs boson, the superhadron collider is now lying idle without future prospect of finding something more. Kiske baap ki diwar. Billions and trillions of dollars have been spent on this experiment. Science chup ho gaya. A black hole के पीछे पड़े हैं, ब्लैक होल सबकी आंख बंद कर देता है. They can't get into it. They say black hole is the place of emergence of new planets, and then they are saying, oh, there are billions of black holes. हम तो कहते हैं कि black hole is one roam on the body of Lord Vishnu. जीवन्ति लोम विलजा जगदंडनाथा Vishnur Mahan hi yasya kala vishesho. In the pores of Lord Vishnu's hair follicle, millions of universes are coming. Can you estimate the immenseness of Lord Vishnu? No. So why are they unnecessary? The scientists are locking up the horn with the devotees. We take it very cool. Our Bhaktivedanta Institute, the Scientific Institute, they enjoy. They are giving PhD on consciousness. With Bombay University, Pilani University, and Berkeley University, 3 universities. It's a different paradigm. Rasaraj Prabhu is a scientist who is trying to speak through Srimad Bhagavatam, the creationist theory and quantum mechanics he is employing. That is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Mind-boggling. And the academic world is appreciating. So the idea is that whatever common man receives information is so superfluous. But when we study our literature, we can tackle any, fantasies, problems of scientific, propaganda. Prabhupada says scientific propaganda. It doesn't stand. The realistic nature of bhakti cannot be surpassed by anyone. It's the summum bonum. I gave you the mention of is Vishnu the origin or Krishna is the origin? Between South Indian and our Bengali Vaishnavas, they get into. And Rupa Goswami wrote that Lagu Bhagavatam. It is very astonishing that Lagu Bhagavatam is based on what you call Brahma Sutra, equivalent to this, the main sutric principle to ascertain the esoteric truth, based on Krishnastu Bhagavana Swayam. Krishnastu Bhagavana Swayam. Everybody is eti chansa kalapunsaha. But Krishnastu Bhagavana Swayam. It is applied for all the 3 Vishnus of Anshankala. That partial manifestation of Krishna. But when Krishna comes, Bhagavana Swayam. So on these words, our acharyas have so much meditatedly discussed the supremacy of Krishna. It's called Mahavakya. Mahavakya. You center around all your arguments on the truth. Why it has been deciphered specifically in Srimad Bhagavatam, that in the first canto, all these different avatars and so many sub-avatars, and their list is there. But when it comes to Lord Krishna, I say, yete cha amsha kala. Here, but Krishna's tu means but, Bhagavan's. And that Swayam Bhagavan wants to test the esoteric mellows of Radharani's love and what is in his character that he doesn't know and Radha knows. He wants to know everything. That what is in his love, that Radharani is so much subservient and trying to derive the pleasure for me. So how much pleasure she must be attaining? All these intrinsic questions, to fulfill that, the Lord has to assume the form of his own devotee. So Radha is the first and foremost devotee of Lord Krishna. And when they come, it has been esoterically described. In the beginning, Krishna was one, but to enjoy amorous pastimes, he made Radha from his Vamangi, right? And now they have recombined again in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what should be Chaitanya Mahaprabhu equivalent? The same Supreme Absolute Truth Personality of God. And to prove that, the whole of Brihad Bhagavatamritam and Lagu Bhagavatamritam is etc.
In Gita, the Supreme Court says, "Man mano bhavo mad bhakta mad."
Madhyaji Mam Namaskaru Mame Vishwase
Why
Satyam.
the people is doing puja for Dev Devata? Why?
But Bhakta, if you worship Ram, he is not a different personality. When we chant Hare Krishna, and the Ram Tattva is also there. But who are you chanting for?
Only for Krishna.
How come Ram is Krishna?
He is a avatar, like avatari, like.
No. Ram means the reservoir of pleasure. Was Lord Ramchandra reservoir of pleasure? Examine his character. ये सबको रुला गए. नाम रखा है राम. रमंती जोगिनः सत्यानंदे चिदात्मनि इति राम पदे नाशो पर ब्रह्म अभिधीयते. पर ब्रह्म का आनंदायक वाचक नाम राम कहलाता है. Oh, that belongs to Krishna because he is the reservoir of pleasure. If you say Ramchandra is also a reservoir of pleasure, for whom? The monkeys. Huh? War is not means of pleasure. Haribo, yes, Prabhu.
Maharaj, I have a question on this. When
We'll do personal time, Prabhu. Maybe some people have to leave. It's for
Oh,
tonight.
सबको भूख लगी है. You can come with your plate here and we'll discuss whatever you have to ask. Jai. बुलाओ महाप्रसाद गोविंद बोलो.
Vedavyasapriya Maharaj ki. So once again, thank you so much, Maharaj. I think you all heard very nicely. One important point Maharaj started with, Tad Vidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevya. So very important instruction from Maharaj that we should be in a mood of surrender. If we have that mood of surrender, then the knowledge will be transferred by the spiritual master. So let's take away that instruction. And if you follow that instruction, all the knowledge will flow, all the questions will be answered through that process. And Prabhu, to your point, why didn't you know about 50 years ago? It is never late. You can start now. You are in the right association, take some books, take the chanting beat. You can start from today itself. It's never late. Prabhupada said 1 second, 2 minutes, yeah? So there you are. So before we honor the prasadam, if everybody just come this side, we'll take one picture with Srila Maharaj. Everybody can, cherish these moments. Maharaj has come like a, it says ke Registan ki bhumi mein pani gir gaya hai. Due to COVID, we did not have any association at all. But Maharaj is so merciful to us that he has personally come all the way. So please come. Prabhuji is on this side, Mataji is on this side, facing that way, and we will request one or two people to take the. Prabhu, you take photos. Perfect, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Mataji is there. बैठ जाओ उधर मुंह करके. Prabhuji, you please sit here. I think we stop here. Whoever is online, Prabhuji, Mataji, we thank you your association, and we will have to stop the online. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.